it's Glenn, and I can't sleep. I just woke up from this crazy dream. It was one of those dreams, you know? Like, I don't know. I'm kind of um apprehensive about talking about some things, but I don't know, like I don't know what to talk about. Like that's the weird thing. Like I have so many things going on in my head. I'm just at such an interesting place in my life right now. And I guess that's how it connects to the dream that I just had. Um like I don't know. I've always had like this particular flavor of dream or experience. And like I don't know. I don't think I should talk about that. But yeah, like the number 41 was prominent in this dream. I was wearing a jersey. I was in a high school gym scenario where I was still in high school. Or I was back in high school. But I never actually wore a jersey in high school. That was not me. But in this dream, I'm wearing a jersey. With a big fat number 41 on it. And that's weird, you know? And that was so significant. And like, I didn't realize I was in high school again at the beginning of the dream. It was weird. I was like wearing this jersey and didn't even realize I was in a gym. And like then the coach calls out sarcastically in my ears because I don't think that I am in high school. And he is like, the only way you get a jersey number is if you're in high school. So you couldn't possibly be wearing a jersey number if you're not in high school. And then I thought about that and how I'd never heard of such a rule. And I looked down at my number 41 and I'm like, oh yeah, I am in high school. That's how I got this number. And so I ran into the gym because I was eager to play. Whatever it was, everyone was playing. And it was all guys. And in my high school, we had co-ed gym. Like, the dressing rooms weren't co-ed, but the gym classes were. And I know that's not the way it is in all high schools. But yeah, mine was co-ed. But in this dream, it was all guys. And so I start looking at their jersey numbers. And I count up to, like, I don't get higher than 21. There are only 21 jerseys. And that's why I was like, oh, that's why the coach was kind of making fun of my jersey. Because it's like 20 above. All of the jerseys that he's seen. And so, yeah, I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. And like, but they're playing this thing, like it's some weird cross between football and basketball. And like, in my head, while I'm watching them, I both completely understand what they're doing, while at the same time completely understanding that I have no idea what they're doing. And I was just waiting for my chance to jump in. And, you know, I heard one of them say that we have almost all the guys we need. If we can just get to 41, we can conquer this enemy territory. You know, that's a very sports team thing to do. It's like you're also, I guess, the military. I don't know. But I mean, that was the plan. It was all about, like, conquest. To get up to that number, 41, and I'm like, that's me. We can do this. We're going to conquer that territory that's just so, it's so urgent that we do. It's like the most important thing. And so that was the weird thing. And you know, there were side things going on. Like, there was, like, I witnessed in the locker room a bunch of guys doing something to one of the other guys, but I don't know exactly what. And I guess that's what it was. That's why I walked away. I'm like, whatever those guys are doing, I can't tell, you know, if they're playing or, you know, no one seems to be dying. So I just kind of walked on out into the gym. But then this video footage surfaced of this kid getting raped and murdered in the shower, and then he's just in there dead. Like, he's in the shower dead. And nobody can go in there, and everyone's trying to figure out who exactly murdered him, and there was a whole crowd in there around them. So there have to have been a lot of witnesses. So was it a joint effort on the part of everyone in there to murder this? And I remember specifically, he was 15 years old, is what it was like on the news. And that was tragic. And then, like, I also noticed one of the guys on the whatever team, the sports team, was a long lost friend, you know? If you read the dedication in the Chronicles of Nightfire, Texas, Volume 2, it's for a long lost friend. It was that guy. Was one of the leaders of the team, and I knew I was mad at him. But I also knew that we were on the same team now, and that we're actually cool again. Everything is good between us. In the dream, you know. So, I mean, that was a weird little subplot that was never resolved, but I just kept thinking about my jersey, looking at my big fat number 41. And just feeling almost like the most important thing here, even beyond conquering the territory. The most significant thing to me is that my jersey number is 41. And then I woke up. You know, I think there was more to that dream that's kind of faded that was before I got to the gym. It might pop back into my head and I'll stop and share. But yeah, so I woke up and I'm just thinking 41. What does that mean? And I'm trying to think of what is the significance in my mind to have generated this strong message from my subconscious of the number 41. Not much. I mean, actually, now that I think of it, I guess I can think of a significant moment that had to do with the number 41. But having just realized that, I don't know how it applies. And I don't know if I should talk about it, like in detail. But it was like a self-care decision that I made with the help of some really good friends. That really stopped my downward spiral during the caretaker years. That's interesting. And even that might apply to what I looked up when I woke up. I woke up and was like, all right, I've got to figure out what that means. Like, is that common dream imagery? Like, is there some cultural relevance that I've picked up on subconsciously to the number 41? So I googled it because it also like just symbolically, is there symbolism attached to that number, you know? So, like, I found some interesting stuff, and I don't know what I think about all of this. I'm not, I'm a student of all philosophies, a devotee to none. That's my mantra. I will look at and learn about any way of looking at the world, you know? And there are points, usually on most sides, there are valid points. Um, so it's like both could be right, and perhaps even to the point that sometimes it's one thing, sometimes it's the other. Like sometimes in a dream, a cake is just a cake. Um, but maybe sometimes it's a symbolic message from your subconscious. It's like, hey, here's something you need to pay attention to that you've just been ignoring. You just haven't even been noticing this, but I, subconscious, have noticed it and alarm bells are going off, so here's this crazy dream because that's my language. So then you have to wake up and try to interpret the language of your subconscious. And they do, like the conscious and the subconscious really do use different languages, if you think about it, to communicate with each other. It's like R2-D2 and C3PO. It's like C3PO is your conscious mind, the worrywart, oh, we're doomed. And he's the one saying, no, you can't do this, we can't do that. You don't know how to fix the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon. But R2-D2 is your subconscious, and he's like taking in your words and just ignoring them. He's like, okay, there is a problem. He's also saying a lot of words. But there is a problem. I'ma solve it. That's R2-D2. He doesn't tell you what he's gonna do. He just gets it done. He just plugs in, turns his little thing around, and gets it done. And all the while, his counterpart is telling him it can't be done. So, that's your subconscious, and he doesn't speak back to C3PO in English. He communicates in beeps and whistles and chirps. He just makes weird little robot sounds. And he's awesome, and he's my favorite character in cinema. I love R2-D2. But I want to watch Star Wars. Right, but to stay on topic. Yeah, so then there's that. There's, it just is what it is, face value, or it is a coded message from your subconscious that you are supposed to be able to interpret. Like it's your subconscious trying to make it crystal clear to you, but it only speaks in symbols, in imagery, in art. It only speaks in creativity. Like there's nothing practical about it. It's this information that filters through in imagery rather than conscious words and messages, Like you're conscious, you think in words. You communicate in words clearly. Subconscious, if it were clear, it wouldn't be down there. Like it wouldn't be subconscious if it were clear to the conscious mind. So, so it could be something like that. Or it could be an external source giving you the dream. That's another way of looking at it. It's like subconscious dream imagery. Everyone you meet and everything you see is you. But external imagery, everyone you see and everything you see is God. Is that external messenger. Those are a couple of different ways of dream interpretation. So, I don't know. Do you try to look at it from all angles? Hold on. I need to get some more fake coffee. And I'm back. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, so it's either just random meaningless imagery, or imagery from your subconscious, or imagery from an external source. Like God, angels, spirits, your higher self. I mean, and that's really kind of, when I think about God, it's not dogmatic. I think about kind of levels of consciousness, like your higher self, who's like, and it's like that goes kind of back to, humans create God in our image. And I am a novelist, so to me, God makes sense as a novelist. And all of us are his characters, fractals of his own consciousness, because that's my experience. Like, because my novels, and like I'm pointing down here because like sometimes I have this with me like a security blanket. My new novel. It's my 11th novel, but it feels like my first. Because just the time in my life in which it has been published, 2021. Huh. All the jerseys went up to 21. So, I mean, there's a significance to the number 21. That's what year it is right now. So, and it fits in all three interpretations. All three types of interpretations. Because 21 is the year it is. So that's an easy random number to throw in there that's just always rattling around in my mind. Or subconscious is like, the numbers go up to 21. Let me talk to you about what's going on right now and where we need to go, or where we want to go. Maybe it's like, where do you want to be in 20 years? Interesting. And, external source. Who knows? I mean, I would think, again, 21, it's this year. 41 is 20 years later. It's like, and either way, like I feel like in life, like I'm in this powerful transitional point in my life. I think that's one reason this novel is so significant to me, because it feels like a beginning. It's weird. I've come through such a trial over the past several years, and I feel like I'm finally through it, and it's behind me, and I'm starting a new journey, and I'm just in such a good place in life right now with so many things. There's nothing but possibility ahead of me right now. And so, this is my subconscious processing that I feel like I am beginning the journey of becoming the person I want to be 20 years from now. So, and it was really kind of a pep talk in that regard. And the same message could be coming from an external source or a higher consciousness, my higher self or selves, however it all works. We can only speculate. We can only imagine and try to work it out. But that's what I lean towards thinking. That's what I really think it's probably like, is that God having a master plan for our lives and us having a master plan for our lives is synonymous. It's God is our higher self. So it's like we are guided externally by our higher self, just like an author guides the characters to where the characters need and want to be. The author goes on the journey with them. The author feels what they feel with them. And that's my thinking of God. But ultimately the author is them. And they are fractals of the author's higher self. The author is their higher consciousness. Or the way it is with my writing, it feels like there is their higher consciousness between author Glenn and character of Glenn. And it's kind of like that's where the translation's happening. It's interesting. Because it's kind of like I have these little conversations in my head with the characters when we're trying to decide where to go from here. It's like, okay, how would you handle this situation really? I mean, we have this outline, but not all of that actually works when we're actually you. So what's up? What are we going to do? Let's discuss. And so I kind of think, when you pray to God, you're praying to your higher self. You're praying to both God and your higher self because they're the same thing. Ultimately, like even if it filters through layers and layers. And I'm not stating this as fact. I mean, it's just that's my thinking on the matter. Which can and will be proven or disproven. Proved or disproved. My grammar eludes me at this late hour. Yeah, so I mean, if I look at the dream, it's almost like if you're getting a message from your subconscious or your higher conscious, it's kind of going to be the same thing. Except direct messages from your higher self, I think, are much more rare. Like you have to be at a very critical point in life, at least in my experience. You have to be on the verge of a new journey. You're either going to go one dramatic way or another dramatic way. It's like to get to this point, like I feel like if we have bullet points of what we are here to experience mapped out with our higher consciousnesses, then we need to get from point here to point there, and you can either go this way, which is tragic, or this way, which is grand. Either way, you're going to wind up at point there. So, yeah, I feel like you have to be at one of those moments of making a decision about your own experience. And I think, yeah, so I mean, what is that? Is your higher consciousness just a much louder, like the emergency bell of your subconscious? Just like, you will ignore me no longer, because here the F we are. If I have to project a spirit out there for you to see and listen to, I will do it. Like, I don't know. I don't know if your subconscious can do that. I am absolutely no expert. It's just a thought. It's like spitballing philosophy. It's stuff you can think about now and research later. It's kind of what I'm doing. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting idea. That, like, these spiritual experiences we have in life, not all of us, because maybe not all of us come to such a crossroads. Because thinking about it, I've had several experiences like that, and they've all been at crossroads, at dramatic crossroads. So, I mean, either way, really loud subconscious or super conscious. Which, I mean, take that as you will. You don't have to agree with my philosophy, my idea of what God is, just take it as, when I say superconscious, just an external source. The external source of your choosing, if you're following me for fun. So, your superconscious could be you, God, angels, your great grandma who was born in 1883, giving you a message. Either way, there is a message. If it's coming from sub or super, there is a message. And the other way is there is no message, it's just random. So I tend, because, okay, back to writing. I keep pointing at my book that you can't see. Back to writing, that's like dreaming. It's like structured dreaming. It's more coherent. It's more tangible in a way. Like, the reality is more solid because that's the way that I write, with really tight continuity. But I can interpret my books the way that I can interpret my dreams. There are messages there. I grow from writing fiction. If I don't think I will grow in some way from writing something, I won't ever really connect with the idea. I won't write it. But, so it's like, writing fiction is like dreaming outside of your head. And it's like projecting your dreams out there. It's casting your dreams. That's what writing fiction is. It's casting your dreams. Right, so, I think that is simply the way that my mind works. These stories, everything's symbolic, everything is me, everything, my mind goes all over the place. But it's just interesting because it was kind of like, I feel like I have just come through a crossroads. And like, I see all these paths and all of them are bright. There isn't a dark timeline. That's where I feel like I'm at, and I feel like that dream was confirming that for me. Either from subconscious or superconscious. Because I really don't think that I have flat dreams that are just random and have no meaning. Because I'm constantly puzzling over things. So yeah, I think it was the message, whether from sub or super, was that I am, in fact, beginning the journey that, I visualize myself being on for decades to come. That I am in a good place, that I am on this team. I am at peace with the things that I was troubled by, was distressed over. That's what it symbolizes, that long-lost friend with whom I was not at peace. But now, in the dream, I am. That just symbolizes I am at peace. And that's, the real world. I am at peace to the degree I don't think I have ever been at peace with life, with my relationships, with where I am and who I am and what I am and how I am. I'm just at peace. So, I feel like the message of the dream is you're ready, you're here. We've been waiting for you, number 41. Which is like either like a timeline projection or a reference to the one significant association I can think of with 41. Or I suppose, I started a journey. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize that it's until just now, but that was kind of my journey of healing myself and taking care of myself. I think that I'm here now because of that. Moment with friends. Yeah, that makes sense. And so it's, I'm here because of 41. Or you're on a road to a brighter future that's going to span decades, and I'm arbitrarily using 41 to symbolize that rather than 20 or 60 or 70 or 80, because if 41 symbolizes the beginning of the journey, 41 symbolizes the end of the journey. So 21 is here and now. I mean, erase the number is symbolic of here and now. And 41 is symbolic of the goalposts. The spark of the journey and the blaze of the destination. The blaze of the goals met. The journey of healing, the journey of growth into a stronger, happier soul. So, it's not like the prophecy of 2041. Like 41 is not... I mean, the way I'm looking at it, if 41 is symbolic because of where it starts, then that is the significance of 41 in the dream. So, that is the journey that this is about. So, I do weird things with my hands when I can't sleep. Yeah. So, 41. So that means, I'm where I want to be. I feel that. at the core, I feel that I am where I want to be. I'm at peace with where I am. I'm at peace with where I'm going. I'm at peace with not knowing. I'm at peace with everything I think and everything I feel. It's like I'm glowing. That's how I feel. And I felt that way for a while. Like I felt like the moment I burst through the rain clouds into the sunshine. Like it just happened days ago. And I'm filming this in May. So, yeah, it's been a significant month for me. Like April, May. April was the new novel. It's May, I feel like I'm finally through the darkest trials and then the most confusing, like the kind of the fog of coming out of the darkness and finding yourself in the light. That was the last of the trials, and I just felt it. And I've had those moments in life where you just feel something. Like it's just, there's a thing that's going to happen and it has to happen, but you don't know how. And then it just happens. Like whatever obstacles were there are gone and it just happens. Like that's where I feel I am. It's like I feel like I just launched, leaving all that crap far, far behind me. So, it's interesting. But I mean, I feel really good. And it's just where I'm at, It's not like I don't think there are going to be bumps in the road. But I'm good. I've got good shock absorbers. Now. But yeah, R2-D2 is cool and I want to watch Star Wars now. Don't know if I will. Because I always think that, like, I want to go watch a movie, and then I get out of everything I'm doing and I go get the movie out of the library, and then I don't feel like watching it anymore, and I don't like to sit still. That's the thing. It takes effort for me to sit still and just watch something lately because I'm in such a place of high energy. I'm overflowing with creative energy. So yeah, I think we worked that dream out. And that was the interesting thing though, that, having forgotten about it and just sat here and interpreted that dream. Like I looked up like the meaning of 40, I don't remember how I worded it. Like the meaning of the number 41. And I got some interesting stuff, and then I tried to get more specific and I wrote in dreams and got some more interesting stuff. But like there's something called like angel numbers. Like if you see a number in a dream or keep seeing a number in life, like that's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know what I think about that new concept as of tonight, but it was pretty spot on. Like when I looked up what 41 symbolized, it was just kind of your angels want you to know that you're on the path to victory and happiness, and to believe in yourself, and to just keep on the road you're on. We like the path that we see you on, and we're going to help you and encourage you. I mean, that's what I was reading from this way of looking at things, which is full external thinking, like external messages. But I thought that was a cool concept, but it was pretty accurate. But I'd have to read all the other numbers and see if any of them also, it's a new concept. I haven't thoroughly investigated it, but it's always just interesting. It's like, why was that accurate? That's the next question. Is there a trick? Or is it just, spiritual people have been studying this for years and these are the conclusions they've reached? I don't know. Like shamans in the jungle who've been handing down practices, basically like using psychedelics and such to get messages. It's interesting stuff to consider. That's all I'm saying. I think about it all quite a lot. But yeah, that was interesting because it lines up actually with the interpretation that I see. And with how I felt in the dream. That's also important in the dream. Like, what's going on? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What messages are you receiving from this dream imagery? So yeah, it lines up with all of that, which, could be coincidence, could be I don't know, not coincidence. Yeah, it could be coincidence, it could be expertise. I don't know. But, what matters is I think I see the message of the dream, which is just a message of either from myself or an external observer, I'm precisely where I want to be right now. I'm headed in precisely the direction I want to be headed. Everything is good. We will conquer. Now that you are here and now, the goals are here. The goals of 41 are here in everything that's happening in 21. 41 being simply goals. We will get to the goals. We will get to where we're heading. So, and we're heading in a good direction. That's pretty much it. That's what's on my mind. Like, it always feels like these things are short when I'm doing them. I'm just looking at the time. But I didn't even see what time I started, so I don't know. I know I can't sit here and talk for 6 hours. I mean, it would just take forever to upload the video and probably no one would watch it, not even me. So, I guess, since I came to a conclusion, I should sign off. And I guess I'm not going to try to sleep. It's like 3 in the morning now. It's 3:06 a.m. So if I go back to sleep now, I'll just wake up really groggy. I think I'm good. Anyway, thanks for sitting up with me, and I'll talk to y'all next time.